It's the Generation Zen podcast, episode 12, and this is a really awesome episode that I have for you guys today. I am joined by ReviewTechUSA's very own IntroGuy. Questions. IntroGuy, the best sidekick ever on YouTube, and he's going to be talking about cars, The Simpsons, music, and more with me today. Now, I didn't have the usual cast of characters for the co-hosting spot this week. Instead, I have on Malarkey Man, who is a moderator on the ReviewTechUSA streams, who I know very well, and he is going to be joining me and asking IntroGuy all of these kinds of questions. Me and Malarkey Man had a great bunch of conversation with IntroGuy, and it was really cool to get to talk to him and kind of find out more about him for over an hour. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and I can't wait to see especially what the ReviewTechUSA live streaming community thinks, because IntroGuy, obviously he has a thigh, but he's also a legend, and he's also a really nice person. And, of course, like I said, he is the best sidekick on YouTube. So thank you so much for listening to this episode, everybody, and I cannot wait for you guys to listen to what we have to say. Thank you so much, IntroGuy, for joining me and Malarkey Man on this episode of GenerationZen podcast. This is one of my most excited episodes that I've ever done because me and Malarkey Man were huge fans of ReviewTechUSA and his live streams, and of course, you're heavily featured on them. I mean, you are the intro guy. So before we get started, I have to ask, what kind of seltzer are you drinking right now? What flavor?
It's to be the Target store brand, tropical cherry sparkling water. And thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it, and it's good to hear your voices.
Oh, absolutely. Great to hear yours, IntroGuy, and it's really an honor to be able to like chat with you at a one-on-one conversation, but with the three of us here, because we're on the streams a lot. We're moderators, and you guys, you make our days, like you make our nights, and especially during this whole like crazy time that we're in right now, the streams it brings us a lot of joy, and it brings us a lot of good laughs.
Yeah, it's basically like a daily ritual, I'd say. So
yeah, pretty much.
It blows my mind to get that kind of reaction from you guys, and really thrilled that people find me entertaining, find us entertaining, and it's been good for me too. It's been like some kind of therapy that I get to talk to people and interact with people where otherwise I'd be just kind of shut down in my room hanging out with the cat.
Yeah, because that's right. You guys recently just got a cat, right?
Yeah, we did back in April. The cat, he just showed up one day. Rich did that. He's like, "Hey Matt, I'm gonna go get a cat today. Is that all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." And so then he brought the cat home, and me and the cat are kind of like best friends now. It's basically my cat. I kind of stole it.
Oh wow! So the cat spends more time with you than Rich, basically.
She's right here, actually. I don't know if you can hear her.
Oh, I actually did hear it for a second.
Yeah. She's very talkative. Excuse me.
All right, well, we got to keep that in there.
I've been holding that one in since you started recording, and I'm like, how do I let this out? I just had to let it go.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because I'm like, I'm not on my home turf now. I gotta be like polite. I don't want to go in your stream and start belching and stuff. But I guess you know what to expect from me by now.
IntroGuy, even though it's a virtual chat, the floor is also yours. You can do whatever you want in this chat.
Okay.
Especially since you do it on stream. It's totally fine.
Okay. All right. I'll try to keep it in check.
So one of the things I wanted to ask you, how did you become the intro? Like, how did you become known as IntroGuy? How did you become Rich's trusty sidekick? If you want to kind of dive into that a little bit, okay, for people who don't really know who you are.
Sure. It was just kind of happenstance, and there's one of Rich's weird ideas, and his odd sense of humor. And let me explain that picture. The picture that started at the start of Rich's videos, where the explosion apparently comes out of my rear end. It was originally a picture taken in the spring of 2004 when I was in college, and I was just hammered drunk. When I was drunk, I couldn't keep both eyes open at the same time sometimes, but it was known as the drunk eye picture. Well, he did ask me eventually. He took that picture probably from MySpace and like popped it on his YouTube account as his like intro pic. Actually, I think he started with me dressed as Frank Zappa. I guess that was too dark or something, and people didn't get the joke. So he went to the drunk eye picture, which is his history, I guess. He did ask me at one point if I was okay with him using the picture, and I said yeah, sure, not thinking that he would really ever see it, and the channel wouldn't take off the way it has. And now I feel like you know the Mr. Sparkle episode of The Simpsons?
Yes, that's one of my favorites.
It's like my face is part of his brand, and it's odd.
Become a national icon.
Seen by hundreds.
It is kind of a good analogy, too, because in that Mr. Sparkle episode, when Homer got the Mr. Sparkle box, he had no idea what that was. And it's kind of like you. It's like, what is this tech thing, you know?
It's really... It's creepy how similar it is. Like I had nothing to do with his channel at all, other than just my picture, and until recently. And I guess I once in a while I'd show up in a video or one of his streams. That's it.
I used to think I thought it used to be Rich, but then like because I saw one of his old YouTube videos where he explained it, and I was like, oh, okay, that's not Rich, because it was when I first started watching him.
Oh, that's a reasonable assumption.
Yeah.
You know, it's like some random guy. I had no idea it would be so successful.
When Rich started this whole YouTube channel, right? He started the ReviewTechUSA, and he decided to pursue this full time. What was your reaction to that? Were you like, this isn't gonna work, or were you like, what are you doing, Rich? Like, what was kind of going through your head?
I was happy for him. I know he worked a ton of crap jobs that he was miserable at, and I was really, really happy that he had the balls. It had to take balls to do that. And I was a little bit jealous of him too, because he could just make his own schedule, do what he wants.
Basically become self-employed.
Yeah.
How and like when did you become friends with Rich?
Well, I've known Rich since 4th grade when our grade schools merged.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't become friends until about 2 years later. But by 6th grade, he became friends, and he invited me over one day to sleep over his house. I came over. He was recording music of Sonic the Hedgehog onto a cassette, and then we've been friends ever since.
That's amazing how you guys have known each other for so long, and now like you're on the live streams together all the time. You're still really good friends to this day. That's really cool.
I guess it's kind of unusual for people to be like lifelong friends the way we are. A lot of people just drift apart. But even though we don't have a lot in common on paper, but we're like family.
It definitely seems that way. We get the vibe in the streams that like, you know, you guys obviously joke around with each other and like tease each other, but you guys like really, really care about each other. And one of the things that Rich talks about on his channel sometimes is how like you help motivate him to get really healthy and start, you know, exercising more and stuff. That says a lot about your friendship, and it says a lot about like the connection you guys have.
Yeah, of course, he did all the hard work. It was a couple years ago that we were both going through some hard times. Like about 3 years ago, I quit drinking, and he was there for me. It was really a big support. I got a lot of support from him throughout that time. I stayed with him. It was around that time, too, that I talked to him about his health, and each had our own sort of demons to deal with. So I just tried to help him out.
Yeah, that's really powerful. And it's really cool that you guys have like such a bigger connection other than just being the intro guy. I love how we could see that connection on stream.
I mean, just how casual he is, like farting next to our intro guy. and just going
shirtless. Yeah.
Exactly.
He's a unique guy. That I don't know if we would have been friends if I didn't know him my whole life, you know.
Yeah,
because he's just so over the top sometimes. I'm kind of a quiet guy.
Well, I was gonna say it is funny because you guys have very unique personalities. Not that this is bad at all. You know, you're a little more reserved than Rich and a little more laid back, and Rich is like eccentric. He's like not afraid to express himself. Like he goes shirtless sometimes. But you guys work so well and you bounce off each other.
Yeah, we both have anxiety problems, but it's just kind of our own flavor.
Seltzer flavor.
What are some of your favorite memories, either on a live stream or, outside of live stream, of you with Rich? Because I know he's told a lot of stories on YouTube about you guys, but I just want to know, like, what are some of your favorite stuff that you had with Rich? And it could be something stupid, it could be something silly, like anything.
A lot of mundane things. He talks about those drinking stories. I don't look back fondly on those days myself. Like I kind of cringe when he tells those stories.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, for him it was just like being young and dumb, but it kind of led to a darker place for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
With the whole drinking thing. I try not to think too much about that. The best times for me were like before those days, before high school, and like in the mid to late '90s, we'd hang out listening to like Metallica and walking around the mall, checking out electronic stores, and we had a bunch of Walkmans. He did anyway. He had like a dozen Walkman, and they're all different. And he explained the differences of everything to me, and that's a boring story, but
kind of like now, I guess.
kind of like now, yeah. Another fun time was in the Jersey. We went to the Jersey Shore in '99. Him and our other friend Mike, thinking we're like Beavis and Butthead. We're gonna like party and meet chicks, but we wound up just kind of sitting alone by ourselves on the beach.
I feel like you and Rich are like the real life version of Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah. I think he's Butthead.
I would say that, yeah. He's Butthead and you're Beavis.
Because he's like the leader.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of going along with whatever crazy idea he has. Yeah, the Beavis and Butthead, we were like peers. We were about their age the time they were on the air. So we watched it all the time, and it we internalized it. It became part of who we are, and like it's unconscious now. Like we unconsciously refer to those episodes.
You guys got inspired by Beavis and Butthead and started to do some of those kind of like back and forth, witty / like teasing kind of things to each other on the stream. And it definitely shows, and it's genuine too. It's not like trying to be fake or anything. Like it's legit.
He does that off the camera too, because what you see is the real deal.
Really? So like that's how Rich, he just acts like that all the time.
It kind of. I mean, he does kind of turn it up to 11 probably for the stream, but the farts and the burps and all that.
Yeah.
Well, he generally keeps his shirt on though. I would say generally.
Oh, that's funny.
Less full frontal nudity in real life. Definitely no full frontal nudity anywhere.
Well, that's good at least. Thank God.
Yeah, glad I caught myself there.
Yeah. Well, I find that really funny that you guys had this whole plan to go to the Jersey Shore. Like, yeah, like we're gonna hang out, we're gonna meet all kinds of people, and then it's just end up you guys hanging out on a beach.
We're gonna score. It was either that or Woodstock '99. I think we probably picked the right one. Woodstock '99 was a nightmare by all accounts.
Well, what happened in Woodstock '99?
I don't know. Really, like people set fires and
oh my God,
got all rowdy and stuff. I don't like crowds. I don't like people. It would have been a terrible time for me.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah,
it's one of those things that just sounds like a good idea. Like, yeah, sure, we should totally go. But then once I got there, I'd miserable.
What was your favorite video though? Because we kind of mentioned the stuff that you do outside of YouTube. What's your favorite video that you worked on with Rich? Because I'll let Marky Man say his, but mine personally is either the Xbox. Xbox One X unboxing. That's probably that one, and also, of course, the Turbo Express. Those are my two favorite. What about yours, Marky Man?
I had to agree with both of those. The Xbox unboxing and the Turbo Express video. Those are amazing. I think the Xbox One beats it just a little bit, but
the Turbo Express it's got to be my favorite one because I was not anxious.
Yeah.
I was comfortable in front of the camera for once in my life, and it was just a lot of fun. It was fun to make, and I was kind of disappointed when we were done. I thought we were going to do more.
We got the 2DS review, right? That's coming up.
There's we'll see how we'll see when that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for that video. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. I guess he said I'm going to be doing something with that. I can't remember. Xbox. That was the one where I was sitting there and he was like sniffing the box.
Yeah.
Is that right?
And you
Yeah.
said he smelled really bad.
Yeah, I was. I mean, not acting that much. That was like a genuine, like visceral reaction. Like he smelled like rotting lunch meat,
Oh god.
and it's like, and our friend Nick and Mike were both there, and I was like looking at them, and they're laughing their asses off. I'm like, help me, guys!
That's so you're
Like, how do we tell him? How do we tell him that he stinks?
That's funny behind the scenes trivia. I had no idea that two other friends of yours were there during that video.
Mhm.
Was that shot at his house or was that shot at the office at the time?
That was at the office at the time.
That was at the
And,
office, yeah.
The four of us there, the four of us have been friends since grade school. We're all part of that same group since like 4th, 6th grade.
And you guys are still all super good friends to this day. That's awesome.
Yeah, we really are. I still talk to them both regularly.
But that video came out amazing though.
Thanks.
I gotta go watch that one again. I haven't watched in a while, but
That was like 2017, was it?
17, yeah.
I was still drinking at that time. I was probably hungover and smelling him.
I think like around the time you were still doing live streaming in the Red Room, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, the Red Room.
Remember that?
I was gonna pay it, but sadly, that never came to fruition.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a weird time. I was really nervous on those streams.
We know you're not a gamer, but do you have any like gaming memories as a child?
Yeah, I sure do. Favorite game? Well, I don't hard to say favorite, but most significant memory is of getting the first Nintendo, the Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt.
Yeah, the NES.
Yeah, and playing that with my dad was a good memory. We were both terrible at it. I couldn't get past like the 6th level or something.
Mhm.
So like, and my dad could get to like the 3rd.
Wow.
He'd get to like the 3rd, and then he'd just be dead.
Oh.
I mean, in the game, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
So we'd just compete for who could rack up the most coins. Just kind of not the point, but
Yeah, exactly. But I mean,
it was fun. And then later on, I baseball on Genesis. I like sat there all summer and played it. The other one is Cruisin' USA. Do you guys remember that one?
Heard of it before.
I've never heard. I never grew up in Genesis.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh yeah, it was like a game that was in like what are those places that have video games?
Arcades?
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm. I think I just had a stroke.
It's all right, IntroGuy.
Arcades. Yeah, they used to have them in arcades, and it's a really terrible game. I still remember the music. You turn it on, it's like cruising, yeah, cruising USA, yeah.
Well, you do love cars, so it only makes sense that you'd play that game.
Yeah, it had that connection, so I'd play that all day. That's just a few games that I can really remember. And 007, playing that with Rich.
Oh yeah.
Oh, GoldenEye, yeah.
That's that GoldenEye. That's a good memory that I had forgotten.
I know you're not really into games now. Is it just because you got older and kind of lost interest in it? Was there any like particular reason you think?
Kind of grew out of it, and I wasn't very good at it. The hand-eye coordination that's required, and like get too agitated, fidgety, sitting in one place for a long time.
Right.
And money, I guess that's another part of it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm kind of cheap.
that makes sense because it's kind of like every other hobby. Like, when I was younger, I would like play music and stuff, but now I grew out of that and started doing other things. So it's just like any other hobby, really. Like you like it as a kid, or you like it at one point in your life, and then you stop liking it later on in life. It's completely normal.
I used to just get so frustrated with it. I think just probably mentioned. I don't remember what game I was playing, but I got so frustrated that I bit the game and left teeth marks in it.
Oh my god! You bit it?
Yeah, I ripped the cartridge out and bit it as hard as I could.
Oh my god!
Still worked.
Yeah, did it taste good though?
Tasted like pure rage.
This is like rage.
I was like, what am I going to do? I wasn't sure if I was going to smash it or do. I didn't know what to do, so I like bit it. But
That's amazing.
that's the kind of reactions I would have to video games. So that's kind of in a nutshell why I don't play anymore.
But you still like TV shows and things like that, though.
I don't watch a lot of TV, but my favorite TV show is Top Gear, the British Top Gear. Have you guys seen that show?
I have not. Can you describe a little bit what's about?
Well, it's these three presenters review cars and have guests on their show to drive around a racetrack in they call it a big star in a reasonably priced car or something like that. They do a bunch of other ridiculous things. It's hard to describe.
Were you ever a fan of like Jay Leno's Garage or anything like that?
I like Jay Leno's Garage.
Yeah, I've watched like a few episodes on YouTube. It's like interesting to see like some of the exotic cars he shows on there.
Yeah, he's got some really weird cars.
Like I saw a car that was like completely powered by steam, like it's like a train.
Yeah, I think I saw that episode.
And yeah,
Wow.
It's pretty amazing.
That's crazy. I never seen that show either.
Yeah, there's like almost all the episodes are like free on YouTube, I think.
Oh, cool. One of the shows that you always reference on the podcast, of course, and partly because I always bring it up, is The Simpsons, because I think the early Simpsons episodes are some of the best TV you'll ever find, and I think it's really funny and it's just great. What are some of your favorite Simpsons episodes and clips? And of course, I have to ask you to do a Barney Gumble impression for us.
Okay, of course. On my first, I've been a fan of The Simpsons ever since their first episode back in 1989, I think it was.
Wow.
That remember the Christmas episode? That was
Yes.
the first one, and I remember watching that with my family, my mom and dad, my sister, and there for a while. We wouldn't miss an episode for the first probably 4 seasons. I mean, I was a kid, like 9-10 years old or so at first. I didn't get a lot of the jokes, so later on, it was only later on in reruns where I'd pick up on a lot of the humor. Yeah, anything from the first 4 or 5 seasons is legendary. Like even I'd go as far as like 6 or 7. I couldn't say when they lost their way, but sometime around 99, 98.
Yeah, for me, it's like the first 10 seasons are really solid. Like you definitely see the quality dip in season 10 a little bit, but I think those first 10 are solid. But I think the best of the best are probably seasons like 1 through 7 and 1 through 8.
Yeah, I agree. And let's see, the Barney Gumble for the Mr. Plow episode.
Oh, that's one of my favorite episodes.
That's one of my favorites. And then Barney then on the try to take down Homer. Hey Homer, say hello to the Plow King. Shot out his tires.
That is a perfect impression that you do. It sounds just like him.
And then he's like in the hot tub with Linda Ronstadt for some reason.
Yeah. And then he's like, "Wow, Linda Ronstadt."
Oh, Linda Ronstadt.
Yeah, that's the Plow King episode is one of my all-time favorites. Oh, and then also when Barney makes that movie for the film festival, that's another great episode.
That's a good one. I got a quote from that one too. 40, single, I drink. Don't cry for me. I'm already dead. I can't hear myself.
No, that sounded great. That was a perfect impression.
Don't cry for me. I'm already dead.
And then of course, wait, IntroGuy says you're doing impressions. You have to do the Hank Hill now.
Okay. Well, damn it, Bobby. Now you're just trying to piss me off. Maybe I ought to tie that long hair on your head to the short hair on your ass and kick you down the street.
That's amazing.
IntroGuy, you really need to look to do voice acting. Like seriously, some of your impressions are spot on.
I didn't realize I could do it until I just opened my mouth one day and people reacted.
No, you really should look into do some voice acting things though. I feel like you'd be really good at it.
Okay, I'll look into it. Oh, my heart just stopped. There it goes.
And yeah, those are my favorite Barney quotes, and you hit them all.
Yeah, there's so many. Barney's he's got to be my favorite character.
See, my favorite character is either Milhouse or I like Martin Prince a lot.
Ralph Wiggum is another one for me.
Oh, Ralph. Can you do a Ralph impression or no?
I can try. I'll try.
Okay, let's hear it.
I love Lisa Simpson. No, I can't. And when I grow up, I'm going to marry her.
Close enough.
Then there's another one. My cat's breath smells like cat food. The worm doctor says I wouldn't get so many nosebleeds if I kept my finger out of there.
It's just man, it's just such a good show, and it's such a shame because there was so much like depth to the characters, you know, like okay, a lot of them are stereotypes or whatever, yes. But you know, they had depth to them. Like Homer wasn't just an idiot. He actually like cared about his family. He actually looked after everyone. Like Bart wasn't just a troublemaker. Like he would always do things like when Lisa was down. Like one of my episodes I always remember about that was when Bleeding Gums Murphy died, one of Lisa's idol. And later episodes in the modern day, you know, Bart is just a kid. He doesn't care about anyone. But Bart sees that and he decides to take his $500 that he got from the lawsuit that he had with Krusty to buy that album for Lisa. So there's so much humor and also dynamic relationships with these characters that they just don't have these days.
So I agree with you 100%. I was just watching that Bleeding Gums Murphy episode the other day, and it's like it's striking how they used to be rounded characters, like you said, and now they're just kind of they used to be like a sitcom that happened to be a cartoon. Now they're just like cartoons, and like Homer went from being a well-rounded character to just he went full idiot.
Exactly.
I'd say that's like an example for like almost every like cartoon TV show that like lasts way too long, like Family Guy or SpongeBob. Like they're pretty great examples of like just cartoons that outlasted what they were supposed to last, and their characters just completely died. I'd say. Mm-hmm.
In the writing process, or somewhere in the development process, where it's the writing process or the planning or the storyboard, they kind of forget where they came from with their characters. Like Homer, he was obviously an idiot. He wasn't smart, but there was things about him, like when he made a mistake, he would genuinely apologize for that mistake. Like when he had fights with Marge, or when Marge had fights with him, they were a very dynamic family, and they had problems, but they got over their problems and they moved on. Same with Bart and Lisa. You know, like another example is in season 3 when Homer meets that like Michael Jackson knockoff character. And Bart is like, I hate Lisa. I don't care about her birthday. And then this character looks at him like, no, you do care about her birthday. And they write that song together, and Lisa, that makes Lisa's whole, makes her birthday, but realizes that that's her relationship. You know what I mean? So it's like...
Absolutely. That was a great episode. You remember like early on Conan O'Brien was involved with the show?
I do. Yes, he was
those are some of my favorites. He was a producer and he wrote some of them, I think, too. We could just go on and on. There's just so much. We could talk for an hour about The Simpsons easily.
Easily. Maybe that should be another podcast episode. We could get you on IntroGuy.
Yeah.
Talk about The Simpsons. That would actually be fun.
You have to rewatch a bunch and like brush up on my references.
Yeah, because I've been watching because they're in 4x3 now on Disney Plus. So
I heard about that. Have they fixed it?
They fixed it. Yep. So now you could see the jokes properly and stuff. So I've been like binging that like every day. Awesome. It's really good.
Wait, they weren't in 4x3 before? What they were in 16:9?
Yeah, and they stretched it. It was horrible.
Oh my god, I completely forgot. Everything from Fox is now just Disney. No, it's like everything.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Who would have thought that it was? Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh,
who would have thought that it was like acceptable to do that to The Simpsons? They just cut out so much. Yeah, it'll be fine. Nobody will notice. And like,
I know. It's like all you got to do is rewatch the episodes. Like one of the examples that I saw on the line was the Sideshow Bob rakes. He clearly is like off the frame with the rakes. Like you could clearly can't see him when it's stretched like that.
And it's not like every show on Disney Plus is like there are 4x3 shows on Disney Plus or movies on Disney Plus. I don't know why they excluded The Simpsons.
Anyway, kind of moving on. That was a really great conversation there.
That was great. Hey, wait for it. Love that sound.
It would just sound like a slap to us.
Oh, it was my seltzer.
Oh, it was your seltzer?
Oh.
Oh. So one of the things you talk about a lot on the live stream is your love of music. And I'm not the biggest expert on music, even though I played drums for, I don't know, like more than 12 years. Pretty much all throughout elementary school, middle school, and high school. And then as I got older, I kind of stopped to move to other things. But you talk about music a lot on the show, and I want to know, like, what are some of your favorite artists, some of your favorite bands, albums?
It's cool that you started young. I wish I started playing an instrument when I was a kid. I play a little bit of guitar now, but like just enough to sort of accompany myself if I was going to try to sing something, but I don't do that in front of people yet. But anyway, my favorite bands in no particular order, it changes every day, but here goes. Wilco, Radiohead, Frank Black, who was the frontman of the Pixies. He had a bunch of solo stuff that I'm a huge fan of. Bob Dylan. How could I not say Bob Dylan yet? Bob Dylan's like my number one all-time hero. There's the Stanley Brothers. If you've heard of them, they're
bluegrass. That's my dad's favorite. Yeah,
I love the Stanley Brothers. I'm a big Deadhead. I love the Grateful Dead, the Beatles, and a band called the Silver Jews.
What kind of genre would you consider that, really? Kind of mixed, I feel like.
It's sort of rock. I guess there's a common thread among all of them, like sort of Americana, if you will. I don't like that term, but it's like that one foot in like the roots kind of music. The roots of the Stanley Brothers are like full on roots, like bluegrass, those kind of like pure forms of music, quote unquote pure. The other foot in rock, if that made any sense.
No, totally does. Totally does.
Yeah, that's generally where my tastes are. I didn't even list some of the other stuff like acoustic blues, like or like Delta blues, like Lightning Hopkins, Howlin' Wolf, Charlie Patton, Muddy Waters, that kind of stuff. That's really my favorite.
Now, what about some of your favorite albums?
Oh yeah, albums, and I also forgot Frank Zappa, because of his musicianship and his and sense of humor, like a nice like combination of that. So, favorite albums: Teenager of the Year by Frank Black, In Rainbows by Radiohead, and their other album, OK Computer, is my other favorite. Those are my two favorite Radiohead albums, I guess. The self-titled album by Purple Mountains, which came out last year. That was the front man of the band, the Silver Jews, and just discovered him last year. I didn't even realize who he was until he passed away. He fortunately committed suicide last summer, and I saw it popped up on Facebook. Like, who is this guy? And then I delved into his catalog. I'm like, oh my god, this guy's amazing. And just a shame that I didn't catch on until he was gone. But at least
man.
But that's I'm going way I'm way off on a tangent there.
No, you're all right, IntroGuy. You're all good.
My other favorite album, Bob Dylan, Highway 61 Revisited, is like a landmark, life-changing album for me. I remember sitting in my my grandparents' house where my parents' records and my uncle's records, like they still were, and I pulled out that album and played that when I was 15 years old, and it's like, whoa. Like I'd heard Like Rolling Stone on the radio before, but like the whole rest of the album blew me away. Like songs like Desolation Row, The Thin Man are on there, and it's just like, if you haven't heard that album, you gotta hear it. And another later Dylan album, World Gone Wrong. It's a cover album. Dylan plays a bunch of old blues and folk songs. It's him and his acoustic guitar, and it's the sound of his voice that gets me, because like people love Dylan because he's a great songwriter, obviously, but for me, it's his voice that really hooked me. I think he's a great interpreter of other people's work. I really like covers. It's just to hear a familiar song like through a different like lens. So
yeah, it's interesting. Exactly, it is interesting.
Bring out something that you wouldn't otherwise hear in the music.
Right.
Another Neil Young. I forgot to mention Neil.
Oh, Neil Young.
I'm a big fan of his earlier stuff, and one of my favorite albums is Zuma from like, I think it was 76. And one of my favorite songs of all time, Cortez the Killer, was on that album.
Oh, nice.
So that's another one I recommend.
I'll probably put a link to all of those in the description, IntroGuy, so people can check them
Sure.
out. Yeah, I'll like a link to their like Spotify page or something like that, because that's a really solid list of recommendation. And again, especially like for me, who's not really a music guy, I want to check some of those guys out.
And it's an incomplete list too. That's just there's just so many more that I could mention.
Do you have a Spotify account, IntroGuy?
I listen to Spotify. I don't think I do. Like I don't pay anything.
Oh, okay. Because you could still make like playlists and stuff. You should. I think a cool idea for you would be like make a playlist of all your favorite songs and stuff, and you could share it and people could listen to it.
Oh, yeah, that's one of my blind spots. Is I just kind of like listen to my stuff and that's it. So
Oh, right.
I only like just started listening to Spotify. I don't know how many years late am I? How long has that been around?
Yeah.
Like I literally started listening to Spotify last year.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've been listening to it since like 2014 or 2015.
Yeah, and yes, I've literally been living under a rock because I was living in Yosemite.
Can you tell the difference between vinyl and CDs? Can you tell the difference between analog music and digital music?
I don't know. I mean, I definitely like the tactile aspect of vinyl. That you can, you see it and you can feel it. You physically dropping that needle into the groove. And like digital is just old and sterile, and you don't have any. I mean, you might have a CD, but it's not quite the same. Maybe I'm just old, a boomer. Maybe I'm just old fashioned, but I like it. I have a big record collection, and I just that's one of my hobbies is collecting vinyl records. So as far as sound goes, I am far from an audiophile. Yeah, thank you. There's so many of those records, the record players you find anymore, they're all junk. So it's like this sounds like it was like recorded, at the end of a soup can on a string or something. It sounds so tinny and awful. Like, is this what vinyl records sound like? Is this what people used to listen to? So this sucks. So I can't really make a fair comparison because I have a good system to play it, sound wise. But from as far as like the feel of it, the vinyl is like you have the album covers. It's this physical thing there to hold and look at. I like that.
Yeah, I can't personally tell the difference between like most formats, like CDs or MP3s. Like, I just listen to the music and that's it. Like, I don't really focus.
I'm pretty much the same way. Like it was a pain in the ass when because like the FLAC files, like the lossless audio files, my hearing sucks. Like I have like tinnitus, and my ears ring all the time anyway. So it's like I can't hear the difference.
Sometimes I'll just get angry because I didn't want to pay for the Spotify Premium. And so instead, I would just like I would get a YouTube to MP3 converter, and I get like a YouTube link for. I know it's not going to be nearly as good like a quality wise, but like I'll just get it and like convert it to an MP3, put it on my phone. Or if I don't feel like I have an iPod too, so I'll just put it on there.
Whatever works, man. I used to do like I guess sort of the opposite. Like I had a tape player in one of my old cars, my old Saab, and I used to record. I'd tape MP3s off of my computer. Like I'd run that into my old boombox and just record it MP3s onto cassette. Pretty terrible sound, but it's good enough for enough for the car that makes 1,000 noises anyway.
The thing I like about the iPod is like it's not like connected to your phone or anything. It's literally just made for music, so you don't get like distracted with like notifications or anything. That's just like how I like to listen.
If I had my way, I'd still be using my same old MP3 player. Like you just drag it over and drop it into. This is like my angry man like screaming at a cloud kind of moment here.
Grandpa Simpson.
If I could, back in my day, listen to the music on wax cylinders. Grandpa, are you sitting on the apple pie? I sure hope so. Couldn't help that throwing that Simpsons reference in there.
It's a great reference when they get the apple cider.
Death! Oh wait, it's the cat. Death!
Grandpa, that's Maggie.
Death!
Grandpa, that's the cat again. This comes up a lot on the stream. Like a lot of people want to know. What are some of your favorite concert moments? And do you have any concert horror stories?
Oh man, Concert moments. One of them is a Neil Young concert at Madison Square Garden in 2009, where the band Wilco opened for them, for Neil, his band. That was like the whole show was mind blowing. It was just sensory overload. It was like two of my favorite musicians in one place at the same time. And I was like Neil, and he played my favorite song, Cortez the Killer, and that went nuts. So that was a good moment. I've seen Bob Dylan about 30 times in concert since 1998. All those memories kind of blend together, but there was one in particular stands out at the Newport Folk Festival in 2002. He hadn't played there since 1965 when he won Electric. He quote won Electric and started playing electric music. And he came back in 2002, and he came on stage wearing a fake beard and a wig, and didn't say a word to the crowd, just played his set and left. So that was weird.
Did people know who he was?
Eventually, at first it's like, who's that guy with the long hair and the wig? I was like, and then he starts singing, like, well, shit, that's Bob. What's he doing?
That's so weird.
Never explained it. He just, he's such a strange guy. Dylan's new album is pretty great, by the way. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, it's he has a 17-minute song about the Kennedy assassination on it. He's 79 years old and puts out this album in the middle of a pandemic, and with a 17-minute song about AFK. And okay, Bob,
it's very interesting.
Good to hear from you. Yeah, he sounds great. He can still sing. Another concert moment is I got to see Ralph Stanley play live at the Bethel Woods Bluegrass Jamboree in 2010. At the time by that time he was, I think, in his early 80s, and it was a miserable day, like pouring rain, and he stayed after the show to sign autographs at his merch table. I went up there and got his autograph and said hi to him, and that was just like a thrill of a lifetime, to meet a legend, probably.
And any horror stories?
The concerts are just it's a love-hate thing for me. It's like I love the music, I hate people. The older I get, the less tolerance I have for dealing with the crowds. Out at Golden Gate Park, they do the Hardly Strictly Bluegrass Festival just about every year out there in San Francisco.
Yeah.
That's where I was. This time I rode BART from Berkeley to San Francisco in 2013. I think this was, and there's not anything specific that was horrifying about it. Like I was alone, and I was just trying to find my way around a city I hadn't been to before and navigate the public transit, and it was nerve-wracking and scary, for an introverted guy. Not really a horror story, but it was, there was another time in the Bay Area. Neil Young's Bridge School benefit concert, 2011. I got really drunk. Couldn't figure out how to get back to my hotel room, and I was there, and I was alone. Like I called a taxi, and then I went outside and just got into the first taxi I saw. I guess somebody got my cab. But I got into a taxi. I was like, yeah, I gotta go over here, and I made it. So I guess that's
good.
It's,
oh, thank God. That's
it's not
scary.
much, but it was just me being me at the time, I guess.
Should you go on to the next set of questions?
You're going to ask me about. There's one of those questions about new rock.
Oh yeah, let's ask that real quick. Yeah, so the music I like the best, IntroGuy, is new age stuff. Bands like Coheed and Cambria, Taking Back Sunday. Those are my personal favorites. I don't know if you've ever listened to those, but I'm curious what your thoughts are.
Heard the names of all those bands before. I'd never checked them out. I checked out Coheed and Cambria today. Thought they kind of rocked.
They're my all-time favorite.
Now, the thing for me is like I sort of dropped out of or tuned out of pop music in the late 90s, right around the time you were getting into music, it sounds like.
Sure, 90s,
yeah. 2000, or the music you're into anyway.
Music I'm into, yeah.
So that's around the time I was delving into the back catalogs of like Dylan, the Stones, Neil Young, etc. So I hadn't listened to it for a while. Then like there's, later on I come back to it and then it's like this stuff sounds different. I don't know if the term it sounds different. Like, is it dynamic range compression? I think
I think
Way-
so. Yeah, I
the
think
way
that's right.
the way stuff is produced to sound loud all the time.
Right.
Even like the quiet stuff. Some music you can't even tell like what the instruments are. Like I'm sure there's a good song in there somewhere, but it's just it's all just kind of static, At least that's the way it sounds to me. Like the Coheed and Cambria. I listened to one of their studio cuts. Yeah, listen to me tracks. Listen to one of their studio tracks or songs. How about that? And I don't remember which one, but then I found a live version, and it just sounds so much better to me.
Yeah,
Like
their
that's when
live stuff is
I'm like,
excellent.
yeah, this is really good.
Yeah, I've
They
seen
had
them in
sort of
concert 3 or 4 times, and
nice.
they're my all-time favorite band, and they're just so good live.
Cool. Yeah, I'll need to delve deeper into their catalog.
They have like acoustic covers on YouTube and stuff too, and I think that stuff is like some of their best when they're doing like off the cuff out of studio events and stuff.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into that. And the
Cool.
other bands I've hadn't really heard of you. That the Sleeping, I think you mentioned that one.
Yes.
I kind of like the screaming bits.
I guess you could kind of compare them like new age Metallica, but I first heard of them from Tony Hawk Pro Skater, but they don't make any new music really anymore. They're kind of disbanded. Yeah, they're kind of disbanded. And then Taking Back Sunday is, I feel like it's kind of like new age, like rock pop, I guess you would call it.
I definitely have to add them to my list of stuff to listen to.
Cool.
Yeah, like I think they're just as talented as the older musicians. Like, if by older we mean like the grunge era back, I guess. I don't know where to draw the line with classic, but they're like just as talented. But for me, it's harder to tell because of the production for me.
For sure.
Lose me.
Yeah, and I totally get where you're coming from.
It's like they make them this way for people to listen to in their car or on their iPods or something, I guess.
Cool. Yeah. Well, thanks for answering that, IntroGuy.
Yeah, no problem.
Moving on to the car portion of the stuff, because I know you're a huge car guy, and I'm
Yes.
not as big into cars, but Marky Man knows quite a bit, so he's going to be mostly covering this section.
All right.
So take it away, Marky Man.
I mean, I guess these questions have to do with each other. Like, what was the very first car you ever drove, and like, what was the worst car you ever drove?
Best
the worst and the first.
First. Okay. The first the best car. No, god damn it.
Well, you can answer best.
I can't
How
brain
about this?
today.
How about the best car you ever drove, the worst car you ever drove, and the first car you ever drove?
My first car was a 1985 Toyota Tercel, the wagon, and it was rusty as hell. And I have lots of memories of driving around with Rich in that thing.
Oh, wow.
Those are some good memories. It was a manual transmission, so he couldn't drive it. So I wound up driving everywhere, and he even let me drive his cars. Because his parents think they trusted me more than him. Like his first car was a 95 Grand Cherokee with the V8, and he immediately rolled it. So then they got him I think they got him the Volvo 240. He had the 240 for a while, and then it was an 88 Mercedes 300E. I loved the hell out of that car. That's the car we drove down to the Jersey Shore. Car is a tank, man. I loved it. Worst car, that has to be a Chevy Metro. It was when I was working for Enterprise Rent-A-Car. The Chevy Metro was the worst.
I searched it up. It looks so weird. Oh, it kind of has a little bit of a Chrysler Concorde on the front. You know what the Chrysler Concorde is?
I remember the Concorde. Yeah. Those were wretched too.
Yeah, I think you talked about driving a PT Cruiser.
Oh, those PT Cruisers are terrible.
Around the time these car companies were trying to modernize older designs, it was really strange what they were trying to do. The PT Cruiser, they brought back the Ford Thunderbird.
Yeah, cash in on that retro.
Yeah,
while those old people were still alive, make this will be Grandpa's last car before they stick him in the home. Cash in while you can, right? And then the HHR was late to the party. Like 10 years later, like here's an HHR. Like who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Questioned.
Yeah. Oh my
Answer
God.
to a question that was asked 10 years earlier. First car, Chevy Metro, hands down. The car had no power steering, crank windows, manual locks. The AC, these are new cars, and the AC wouldn't work in the summer, and the heat worked like crap in the winter. Those are like the economy cars that they used to be. They used to be Geo Metros, but then they did away with Geo and were badged as Chevy. But I think they were made by Suzuki.
And like I think you said HHR. I also remember the Chevrolet SSR. It's hideous.
That
honestly.
too.
Yeah, it's so
The
ugly.
SSR was that at least had a decent engine in it, and
Yeah, but I've
they're
seen
the six-
people drive it around. I don't know how people drive that.
they're weird. I'd take that over a PT Cruiser. I'd say
Yeah,
that
I mean,
much.
yeah, but exactly. What would you say like your dream car is like now, and like your dream car when you were younger?
Okay, I'll say my dream car when I was younger was 19. It's kind of specific actually. 1965 through 1968 full size Chevy sedan. For nostalgic reasons, because like some of my earliest memories are of my grandparents driving me around, and then like the early to mid 1980s they had a 66 Impala. So I always wanted one because I thought they were so cool looking and enormous.
Yeah, it looked really nice.
So I actually got it. It's a dream that came true. And they say about like meeting your heroes or meeting your idols. Like once I got it, it's like I don't know what I thought this thing was going to drive like, but it was a freaking boat. It was scary.
Well,
I mean, it had manual, no power brakes, manual drum brakes all around, and the steering was about as precise as like the Titanic, I'd say. It was like there's about 6 inches of free play in that wheel. That was like super. It's like a huge steering wheel, and you had to like turn it like 50 times to get it to lock.
I'd say like my personal favorite dream car is probably the Chevy Bel Air from the 50s, 1955. I love that car.
My car was a 1968 Bel Air, but those late 50s were cool. The cool ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just the Bel Air by this late 60s was just a mid-level trim basic car. These big ass bench seats that you could sleep in, but I remember my girlfriend at the time wouldn't in it.
Wow.
She never, I think we were together for like a year, and she never rode in it. She would not be seen in that car. She said she was scared, but I think she was just embarrassed.
She was embarrassed. She didn't want to be seen in that car.
Probably.
Well, Marky, man, I think that's part of the reason why I was talking to you off air about this, but why I should trade in my Corolla, because I feel like some people would get embarrassed if they see inside of it. Or maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
No, the Corollas, I think, like you're like a 2008, right? Or
It's 2008,
something.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
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 like
they're
the 2000, that's like a neutral car. It doesn't. I don't think it says like anything about you or anybody.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
It's neutral.
anybody who like for me right now, I have a Honda Accord. It's like one of the most common cars in the world, and it's like it doesn't say. It's invisible to like.
Yeah, like when you think car, just the word car, you think of like an 08 Corolla. Like you don't think about when you see it on the road, you don't think about it. You just there's a car right there. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Exactly.
And like nobody, I don't think anybody would think one way or the other about it.
Exactly.
You have the oh, that's good to know though. But do you have the 2020 Honda Accord?
Oh no, I have 2007.
Oh, 2007. Okay.
2007 with a manual transmission, and it's just a basic car, like one of the most common cars. Like
just a regular sedan,
today.
basically.
You see them everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And for your Corolla, is it like they redesigned it like in 2009? The Corolla, is it that one or like just the original 2008?
I'll tell you right now. If you go on Google and you type in
Yeah, that was the last 2008 was the last year of that body style, I believe.
Corolla
Then
2000,
2009 they updated it a little.
yeah, 2008. Yeah, that first image on Google Images, that's exactly what my car looks like.
What color is it?
Mine's blue. I got the blue.
Oh, thank God. I was afraid you were gonna say tan.
No.
Oh,
No,
God.
thank God, no. No, it was actually I got this car when I graduated as like okay. My grandma was getting a Prius at the time, and this was her car. She was like, "Okay, here you go. Here's a car," and it worked great. It served me really well. I mean, I don't drive a whole lot these days, but I'm planning to when the pandemic's over. And I definitely want to get, like I was telling you off air, like I definitely want to get some kind of like hybrid car because I think those are nice and they save gas. So I'm looking into that.
I wouldn't recommend getting a Prius. I'd much rather like recommend a Corolla hybrid because unless you get the Prius Prime, which has a lot like it's really high like miles per gallon. But
that's
like,
what my dad had. My dad had the Prius Prime, but I can't really get something that I can plug into though. You know what I mean? Because like I live in an apartment building, we don't have charging stations. Like so, I need something that could do like it runs on both essentially without needing to charge.
But the Corolla hybrid, it's like the same price as like the normal Prius, the base model Prius, and it looks a lot nicer.
Really? Okay.
I agree with you,
good to know.
Malarkey, man.
Yeah,
I definitely agree. The Priuses are they're polarizing.
Yeah,
they are polarizing.
to put it kindly, I guess.
Yeah. No, they are. They are.
I personally think they improved it a little bit. Like it's not much better. It's like
like I was saying off air that my brother-in-law has one, but I haven't had the chance to check it out. We got the new all-wheel drive Prius.
Oh, really?
Like, oh wow.
Which the all-wheel drive only works up to like I think 44 miles an hour, and then it's front-wheel drive only over that speed. So it's just I guess a little extra oomph to get you unstuck from the snow or something. Get you out of the driveway.
I guess we could like move over to like the more like just talking about the companies of car companies. Like, what are I think you probably see me like making fun of Fiat Chrysler. Just what are your thoughts on the entire company? Because almost everything they make is horrible.
I've not heard a good thing about Fiat.
That's like a big. That's like a horrible combination.
I have never heard one good thing about them, except for the 124 Spider, because it was based on the Miata. No, do you know that you know what I'm talking about?
I've never heard of that.
The 124 Spider is kind of a cool car. It's a little roadster.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on the Miata. Basically, not as good.
Oh yeah, I mean it doesn't look bad, but
it does look pretty nice, but it's got the that 1.4 liter multi-air engine in it. That's what they call their turbos. They have more than one air in it, I guess, you know. It's a funny name.
Wasn't there some kind of lawsuit with the Chrysler, one of the Chryslers recently?
I don't recall.
Wasn't like so there was some phony auto sales that they were trying to do or something?
I don't know.
Maybe that could be true. I'm not sure. I haven't heard of that really.
I haven't heard of that one.
And like Fiat's like flagship like Fiat car, just the Fiat brand sells horribly in the United States because it's like people don't want to buy these tiny cars really.
They have just the negative connotations all around. I think what's left really besides there's a 300, there's a 300, there's the Charger,
the knockoff Rolls Royce.
They got 15 years now of the base, like pretty much the same thing.
I don't even know what they're doing. I see more like Teslas than Chryslers now.
Yeah, but as far as Chrysler goes, I still think the trucks are okay. Like the
Make trucks.
Chrysler, as in like Chrysler Dodge Ram.
Okay, yeah, I see. I thought you were talking about like the Chrysler branded trucks.
No, there used to be. If you remember the Chrysler Aspen, which was it was a rebadged Dodge Durango. They called it the Aspen, which was a shitty car in the 70s, and they thought it was a good idea to bring back the name Aspen. But yeah, it didn't work. The 3.6 liter engine is good, and the V8s in the trucks are good. Like other than that, I wouldn't touch them.
Yeah, I just looked up this Chrysler thing. I was right. It says the what do they call it? Fiat Chrysler. FIAT? Yeah, Fiat Chrysler Automotive's U.S. unit settled an antitrust lawsuit claiming the company pushed dealers to submit fraudulent sales numbers to prop up its share price.
Fiat Chrysler Group owns Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, obviously, Ferrari,
Mhm.
Ram, and Maserati. I didn't know they owned Maserati and Ferrari, but
I didn't know that either. That's weird.
and Jeep has their quality has gone down recently.
What about your favorite car brand?
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about that one. Favorite car brand, I guess the criteria that I would actually buy one today if I had the means. It's boring. I gotta say, like Toyota or Mazda. I can't get too excited about anything Toyota makes, but I want it.
I guess you put Lexus under the Toyota name, right?
Yeah, so there's some Lexuses, Lexi, plural Lexus, whatever that is. Some of them are good.
I really want to see how the new Toyota. What's the hydrogen one? The hydrogen fuel cell one. It's called the.
I don't remember what it's called, but I think I know what you're talking about.
A hydrogen car. It's called the Mirai, Toyota Mirai. The 2021 was extremely hideous, but now the 2021 looks really nice. Actually, it looks like a Lexus.
I'll have to check that
but
out.
It's under the Toyota.
I forgot. You asked what my favorite, what my current dream car is. I didn't answer yet. I think my current dream car is a Mercedes-Benz E63 wagon. Pretty much anything I would need in a car. Probably too much, like a basic E450 wagon. The basic wagon would be fine with me. I just have a weird thing for station wagons, and they don't make enough of them anymore.
I don't know what I expect, but I like the design of it. Like it's kind of like modern, like kind of like it's like elegant. It's like an elegant Jeep, like or something. I don't really know how to explain it, but like I like the design.
The width. Didn't hear you.
Oh, it's the design of the G wagon, right? Or what's it called again?
Landwagen.
But I'm looking at this Mercedes-Benz CLS. It looks really nice. The 2021 version.
Oh yeah, that's the
yeah. I just looked it up. It looks really
I think
nice.
I know what you're talking about.
Wow. High starting price, but that's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
And again, when I like a car, that says something because I'm not a car person.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention old Saabs. They're like one of my dream cars because I owned them for like 10 years from 2003 to 2013. I had two of them, two of the classic 900s. They're just so odd. They're quirky little cars, and they're dead. A dead company, and they're just getting harder and harder to find parts for. So it's not like realistic for me to ever own one again.
Mm-hmm.
I miss them. They were nice. If you ever get a chance, look up the Top Gear Saab special they did after Saab went belly up.
Did you hear about the new Ford Bronco? It kind of looks like a Jeep Wrangler, kind of.
Yeah, they're kind of trying to beat Jeep at their own game. But people are going crazy over that thing.
18-month wait list.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I personally I'd give it a little while. I don't know if I trust Ford enough to it's like a clean sheet design, I think, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
it's a brand new design, and I'd give it some time for them to work the kinks out.
Exactly.
They're gonna. There has to be something's gonna go wrong with that thing.
They're gonna do a color or something.
Assuming everything's perfect, nothing goes wrong. I'd have it with I'd have the base model with the 2.7 liter, and just 2.7 liter, I think, with the twin turbo 4-cylinder. I can't remember the displacement, 2 point something. I'd have it with that and the 7-speed manual with like base steel wheels and 2 doors. That's how I'd want it.
Mm-hmm.
Just as basic as I could possibly get it.
Yeah, I would just wait it out. I would never buy like a brand new car like that.
Yeah, and it's like what's probably caught GM with their pants down because Chrysler has their Jeep, obviously, and the Jeep's always going to be. It still has that kind of brand loyalty and name recognition and all that stuff. GM kind of like turned the Blazer into it's just a Me Too crossover, and even the Trailblazer, they took that was a good name. Not that it was like ever a great vehicle, but it was a good name, and they could have made like a something competitive with the Jeep and the Bronco, but they took the Trailblazer name and made it into a smaller CUV, and I think it comes with a base 3-cylinder. Like what do they have left, really? What else? If they were to come up with something competitive in that class, like what do they call it? I don't know.
You obviously know a lot about cars, so I got 2 questions for you, right? Have you ever worked in any kind of position relating to cars, like a mechanic or a dealership or rental car or something like that? And also, I know it was mentioned on live streams before, but do you plan on starting your own YouTube channel where you kind of review cars and you kind of look at the state of the car industry and kind of analyze it?
Review Cars USA.
Review Cars USA, yeah.
Well, I guess I'll start with that question. Yeah, I've thought about it. I just don't know what the first step to take is. I don't know. I guess I'd have to ask Rich, I suppose.
Yeah. What better way to ask than Mr. 915,000 subs now, Rich?
Well, yeah, he would be a good one to ask. But then it's like the question of like, what would my channel be? Like what?
I mean, you could do like maybe like a style of like, I guess maybe kind of like Scotty Kilmer, like talking about car news maybe, or just talking about cars in general. Like what kind of car, like once a week you'll review like a car that you drove before, like you'll explain like your experience with it.
Or like Rich's style, like you make when there's a gaming news story, he makes a video. When there's a car news story, you make a video.
I suppose I could do that if
That'd be cool.
I don't know. I just don't know if I have enough to say to fill up like that much like airspace. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I could try.
I mean, we're talking about like cars for like how long, like 20 or 30 minutes here. Like,
yeah, probably.
Yeah. Well, and I'll say this too, intro guys. Like, you could definitely captivate an audience, and people are, because you know so much about cars. Like, I mean, I was just listening back and hearing what you're saying. You know so much. I feel like people would go to you because they either want to learn something or like go to your expertise. I feel like you'd be good, and plus you would have a really good base following from us. People from exactly since you're on the live streams with Rich. So you would. I think you do a great job. You should definitely do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't really say it's like complicated or anything. All you use like a phone, your like computer or something.
Your phone and a computer, and that's kind of it. So I think you'd be great on it if you do it.
Well, thank you, thank you. I'm sure there'd be like a learning curve and everything, but it's maybe I sell myself short.
I think you are, because and even if they're not like the greatest videos in the beginning, every video you do, they get better and better, and you learn something from each video. So I think you should totally look into doing it.
It's like take a page out of Rich's book and just do it, not be afraid of like falling on my face, really.
Right.
If I screw up, and then again, there's the like, what if I'm successful? Like that's like, what if I turn into like I see what Rich has to deal with sometimes with all that
Trolls,
all the negative stuff that goes along with being a popular YouTuber. It's like, I gotta ask myself, do I really want that? Like, am I going to be okay with that? Like, I'm kind of a private person. So
that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
It's that's really the reason why I wouldn't do it. If I don't. So.
Right.
But yeah, I would definitely.
That's like it's I haven't made a first video yet, so I can't think about like what am I going to do when my fans start stalking me or something. So
I know.
I'm getting but I can always, it's just my nature. I can always find something to worry about.
Honestly, it is a fair criticism, and because I'll tell you this, even though this podcast is really small, of course, but we've had some pretty big name guests on, like Dreamcast Guy and Tommy Telrico and stuff, and obviously you as a big name guest, I would say.
Yeah.
And that's something I thought about too, but at the end of the day is like, you just got to ignore those people, because they're the people who really support you, like me, Malarkey Man, Google Fish, like, we're the people who support you, and the people who just try to bring you down, they're just trolls, and you're never going to make those people happy. But people who watch your videos are genuinely going to enjoy your videos and they're going to be happy when you upload. Like, again, Rich's videos and Rich's streams. Yeah, he gets trolled sometimes, but guess what? 1,000 people watch his streams almost daily now, and we have a great time. So I think you should totally consider it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm just like, I'm kind of blown away by all the kind words there.
Oh, it's true. Because put it this way, Intro Guy, again, I'm not a car guy, but I loved listening back for a little bit and just hearing you talk about it. I learned something. So yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. And I'm just really flattered that you thought I'm interesting enough to have me on this the show.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Intro Guy. Again, this is a dream. Like, I always thought, like, it would be really cool to have Intro Guy on, but I wasn't sure if you were going to say yes. And then me and Marky Man were talking on Monday, and then he gave you the super chat. And, we really appreciate you taking, like, basically 2 hours out of your day to two random people who tune into the streams. It means a lot.
Oh, you're welcome. It's like the way I see it is I'm just hanging out with two friends.
Yeah, that's how we see it too.
It's not a problem at all. I'm really enjoying our conversation.
So, was there any, Marky Man or Intro Guy? Was there any like final thoughts you want to give? Any final questions or last minute things you want to add?
Name drop a couple of YouTube channels that I regularly watch.
Sure, go ahead.
Mostly car channels. Vice Grip Garage is great. There's Savage Geese car reviews and Hoovy's Garage. Of course, regular car reviews. The Straight Pipes. And that's about it. I mean, off the top of my head there, I'm sure there's a few more, but Garage, that guy's entertaining.
Cool. And Marky Man, was there anything you want to ask as a final note?
We have the most important question. What's your favorite seltzer flavor?
Ooh, this is a great last question. What is your favorite seltzer flavor and brand?
Yeah,
is cold a flavor? Black I'd have to say black cherry Waterloo. That is seltzer of the gods.
Ooh. Honestly, what I love Polar Seltzer. Their lemon, I think, is phenomenal. That and their vanilla orange are really good.
I also like a good the Unicorn Kisses.
I was gonna say, yes, the Unicorn Kisses are awesome. I just wish they were in bigger cans.
No, the little two pushes and they're gone. Man.
I know, because they're so good. Like I could drink a whole case of those Unicorn, or as Rich says, Unicorn Kisses.
Unicorn Kisses. Polar's like too rich for my blood up here. It's expensive. $5 for a 12 pack. So I know. I stick to the store brand, and it's it's still wet. And
that's fair. No, that's fair.
So it works. It makes makes burps come out.
Right. That's valid. That's really valid. I also like bubbly a lot. Bubbly's good. I know Rich doesn't like bubbly, but I like it.
I like it too. Yeah, I used to buy that all the time. Like certain flavors, I guess, are better than others. I kind of like their strawberry.
I made the mistake of buying 7-Eleven seltzer. It was so bad.
Oh God! Now, was it better than the 7-Eleven pizza?
Oh no! Oh no!
What's amazing though, as a real quick side note, that Little Caesars pizza is cheaper than 7-Eleven. Yeah, it's really nuts.
I don't know what they put in there.
I don't know.
Don't eat gas station food.
No, I don't eat gas station food.
No, I never.
Or 7-Eleven food. They're usually gas stations attached to them.
Yep, I never ever do.
I've driven cross country enough to know to avoid that.
Imagine you're on a road trip and you eat food at a gas station. You have like a stomach ache or diarrhea in a car ride.
Oh, that is the worst.
It hasn't happened to me.
And you have to use a gas station bathroom.
You're driving along and it's like, I gotta go, and I'm looking at these buildings like there's a toilet in there. God damn
it! Yep, it's
there's a toilet in there too. I can't use it. God damn it!
No, I gotta go. Yeah. Oh, seriously. Cool. Well, yeah, this is a great episode. And Intro Guy. First, again, I just want to say this. Thank you so much for coming on. This is as ReviewTechUSA diehard fans between me and Marky Man. Having you on was a dream come true, and we really appreciate it. So where can people find you? Where can people listen to you? And plug away. Plug whatever social media and accounts you want to plug. Go ahead.
well, it's absolutely my pleasure to be on on this podcast with you. A lot of fun. And as far as plugging anything, I have I have an IntroGuy Instagram page, but I post like stupid pictures that I like Photoshop.
I just liked 2 pictures that you posted the other day. I thought they were pretty good.
Because I just downloaded a Photoshop program for like the first time ever on my phone.
Nice.
I've been like just making stupid pictures all day long. So
see, that's why Rich needs to give you a laptop so you can do that stuff on a computer.
I made some cucumber related images that he's been threatening to use, and if he doesn't, I'm gonna just put them up on Instagram.
Nice, cool.
So, what do I have to plug? Seltzer, man, just drink it, stay hydrated, stay healthy, and be nice to each other. That's it. Those are my words. That's my life advice.
This is the IntroGuy from ReviewTechUSA signing out. Have a good one.
Well, of course, people could listen to you on the ReviewTechUSA live streams.
I forgot about that. That thing that I do with Rich.
And I know you said you're starting work again soon, but you're still going to be on those. You said, right?
Yeah, I'll be working mostly during the week. I'll be off Fridays and Saturdays, so those are the probably the 2 days. So I'll probably say Thursdays and Fridays. You'll probably see me on a stream.
Okay, cool.
Tentatively there, and and maybe if we're streaming a little earlier, like I could do like 7:30 to 9:30 or something. That kind of time block.
We should ask him about that. Hey, we should stream earlier so IntroGuy can continue being on. Because you guys, I love having both of you guys on the stream. It's just so great.
Thank you. Yeah. It's just
because honestly, it feels odd. Nothing against Rich, but it does feel odd when you're not there.
You guys, you're too kind, man. I'm just flattered, and
Butthead needs to be there. You can't just have Beavis.
You guys are two friends now.
Thank you.
Thanks, Intro. Well, IntroGuy, is an honor to call you a friend. Seriously, and that is a huge honor, and I'm really, really happy and thankful that you say that about us. All right, guys.
I'll see you when I see you.
Yep. See you when I see you guys, and we'll be in touch. Sounds good.
All right. Have a good one.
Have a great rest of your day, guys. All right. Later, guys. Bye.
Let's see if I figure out how to hang up.